All right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is a show where we show you our feelings about the current state of most things PlayStation. Before we get on with the show, I want to invite you guys to subscribe to the channel on YouTube and visit us on our Twitter and Tumblr page. If you want to find us and make fun of our trophy list on the PSN, you can find me at anchorless_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at jakesaw01. As always, you can write us at psthisisawesome@gmail.com, and don't forget to share this show with your friends and leave comments and rate the podcast as you see fit. All right, is this 40? This is 140, I think.
You sure about that?
Jake, did we hit 140?
I have no idea.
I think this is 140.
Wow.
Let me go, because I've been putting these on the YouTube page, making fancy little graphics for it all. Now I want to know if this is 140.
Considering episode 0 to 100 took us 2 years and episode 100 to 140 took us 5 years, there's something to be said there.
Yeah. But we're back in the swing of things, man. I've been doing a lot of videos on the YouTube channel, pretty professional ones. So I don't know if you've seen them or not, but they're good. I feel confident about them. I did one recently about how bad I suck at Call of Duty and spliced in some clips of me just dying randomly. I mean, yeah, I think people just want content. So I've been updating the YouTube channel. But yeah, episode 140. Jake, how you doing today? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm sitting here in my shorts. And
it's short weather.
Fucking hot in my house. So at least upstairs. Yeah. It's nice and cool downstairs, but upstairs where I have my computer is pretty freaking warm already, and it's only
murder up there already.
Morning. I don't know.
It hit 80 degrees yesterday. This is fun for those listening. Jake and I don't live in an area where there's. We actually live close, playing a band together and all kinds of stuff. But we live in an area in Pennsylvania where the weather really can change at any moment's notice, and the problem is that this is the very beginning. I mean, summer's been around for quite a while now, but this weekend is the first nice weekend we've had. And now it's Memorial Day. So happy Memorial Day to you, Jake.
It's not summer yet. It's still springtime.
No, it's technically summer, is it not?
It's not summer till June.
All right. Well, someone told me the first day of summer came. I guess I'm just really gullible.
Saturday,
also, is
June
it short
20th. You're not even
short?
Close. What's that?
Is it a pair? Do you wear a pair of short or do you wear a pair of shorts?
Shorts, plural.
I saw this
Short
advertisement
pants.
recently where this guy was like, I think we've talked about this before. I think pants should just be called longs. But I think I saw this advertisement where there's this guy and he was like, this is the only pair of short I will ever wear. And it was like a paid advertisement. It was like really professionally done. I was like, is that the proper way to say shorts? Or are these just people trying to change everything on us?
I think it's,
I don't know.
Probably either some kind of quip or maybe it's just the guy said it wrong and they didn't catch it. Maybe it's like four.
It might have been their way of just getting our attention because it worked. Well, dude, let me tell you this. I have not played, because of the weather, I've not played anything new, with the exception to Farming Simulator.
Oh, yeah.
And the Iron Man VR demo, which was actually, I got something to say about that. But did you play Farming Simulator?
No, I didn't, but I was talking about it with my brother yesterday.
Is he playing it?
He was not playing it. I can't remember what he was telling me. He was telling me he wanted to play something. It was like some kind of like simulator or something like that. And I was like, dude, we got Farming Simulator for free. And he was like, I guess for some reason he didn't catch that or whatever. And I was like, you better go home.
Well, it doesn't really catch your eye.
Like, you better go home and get it, since I think it expires at the end of, next week, I guess.
Today.
So.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm thinking about you're right.
Yeah,
we're still in May.
Yeah, I haven't. That's one of those games where, like, it seems like it would be so, like, I don't know if cathartic is the right word, but, like, just fun to play, to just kind of tool around and, I don't know, grow stuff, drive a tractor. But, I've never actually installed and played it. So,
well, I'll tell you this. I installed it and I played all the tutorials and I was really into it. And then, I mean, they have different tractors for everything. So it's actually like very simulation as far as like being a farmer. You have to cultivate the crops. You got to cultivate the land. You got to harvest the crops. You got to put the weed killer on. You have to use different weights for the front of your tractor to make sure you don't dig too deep into the ground. And it's all first person. And apparently you can hire helps because it takes a while to do one field. So you can get the thing rolling, then just hire help, jump out of the tractor, and go jump in another tractor and get it started. Like, the idea of the game seems really cool, but practicing it and playing it, man, I've never been more overwhelmed with a game. And some of the controls aren't very well. Like, you can also do forestry and harvest trees, and using the chainsaw and the special hitch that you put on the tractor, like, it's like literally using a claw game at like Chuck E. Cheese, but the controls are inverted or something. So like getting the claw to go over the tree you cut down took me like 10, 15 minutes to figure out the controls. The control scheme's not very good. Anyways, I can go on for a while about it. I tried it. I started the game and did the tutorial, and then it was like, okay, have at it. And you're just there with a couple tractors and just multiple fields, and there's no way to keep track of like what you're supposed to be doing, or like, and it got really confusing. So I deleted it pretty quick. I still kept City Skylines though.
That's cool. I still want to try it. I'm curious as to, like, after what you're saying, you know, how bad it is, or if it's just
I think it's good. I just think, I think some of the controls suck. Like, you have to use L. Like, if you're driving a tractor, there's the regular controls for the tractor, but then the attachment, you have to access those controls by holding down the L1. But sometimes the attachment has multiple parts to it. So with L1 down, you got to press triangle to switch to the other parts, and then it gives you another sub menu. So like, as you're trying to steer this tractor, you're trying to do all these extra things on the attachment. You know, you got to unfold it, you got to reload it with grain or whatever. It is what it is. I could see it getting really fun if you had a better attention span than I have.
I mean, it sounds kind of like what it's like to drive a tractor. I mean, like, you know, I mean, because there's so much shit that you have to do. I mean, I haven't, you know, I've done some tractoring, not a whole lot, because we had tractors when I was growing up, but it was like, you know, you have to, while you're driving, you have to man all these different controls and shit if you want to, like, you know, I've pretty much only ever run like a mower or something on the 3-point hitch, but like, yeah, you have to kind of drive all that shit while you're keeping the tractor straight and everything. It's a chore. It's not something that's, you know, people, I guess, sometimes probably talk down or think down a little bit on farmers and stuff, but they got a lot of shit they got to worry about whenever they're out there, you know, doing tractor and stuff.
And it's expensive, man.
Oh,
like,
boy, yes, it is.
You and I were just talking about buying grass seed for the yards. Like, that shit is very expensive. Like, why does grass seed cost so much?
Dude, one of those tractors that they have, like, you know, like whenever you watch if you look at, let's say, the cover of Farming Simulator 2019, and it's one of those big tractors with like the dualies and stuff like that they use to plow the field or whatever. You know, one of those tractors costs like $250,000.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
And they have how many of them that they use? Like different types of tractors and different types of implements for harvesting corn and all that stuff.
All the different attachments. Yeah, right. It's insane how much money they have invested. And they're just trying to make it back by selling corn at like 20 cents an ear.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get corn really cheap here. But anyway, so that was, I deleted it. I enjoyed it. I deleted it because I didn't have the patience for it, and I didn't want to sit down, especially with all these upcoming games coming out. And then I've been doing these minimal reaction videos. You know, I'll pull up like a trailer and just kind of react to it and give my opinion on what I saw on the YouTube channel. And I saw that there was an Iron Man VR trailer, and I started watching it. And at the very end, it was like demo available today. And I'm like, what? So I went and downloaded that, and it's cool. It falls into the same issues that most VR games have, but like with this, you're flying the whole time, so you just use the 2 move controllers and you put them to your side or whatever, and it's exactly how, like, if you had jets coming out of your hands, how you think you would move. My only issue with it was that you could never look like, you know, when Iron Man flies and Superman flies, they're usually parallel with the ground. Or perpendicular, rather. I think that's the right word. No, I think it's
what
parallel.
Are you talking about?
Like when you're Superman and you see him flying through the air, right? Like he is
parallel to the ground.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so he's looking straight down at the ground when he flies. In this, so is Iron Man, but Iron Man does do the maneuver where he'll like be upright in the air and use his hands to keep him straight up, and then he'll start shooting stuff. This game works like that. So even when you're traveling forward, you're still upright. So I get it's hard to kind of move left and right when you're upright, if that makes sense. It's hard to control. And I don't know. It's all right. It's fine.
Is it one of those things where it's like, it's actually hard, or like the what you have to do is kind of like your brain doesn't work that way. So you kind of have to acclimate to it.
Yeah, so it's a bit of both. So you use your hands and you face your palms behind you, and that propels you forward, right? So if your hands are behind you, you're moving forward. If you put your hands out in front of you, you slow down. If you put them to the right, you move left, and left, you move right. But as you're moving forward, you have both hands behind you. So steering left and right is kind of hard when you're moving forward because you have to keep your hands behind you. So then you're slowly like just moving your hands to the left behind you, slowly to the right. But the turning it doesn't feel like a lot of games you go where you look, right? In VR. And this game, I think, is a little bit of that, but it still felt a little weird. I mean, it felt good, and you're not on rails in this game. Like, you are just out flying around like you're Iron Man, and the suit looks really cool, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a cool game. I don't know that I'd pay like $40 for it. I don't know what they're selling it for, but it does look cool, and you can tell they put a lot of time into this game. It's pretty neat. I don't know, Jake. You should download it and try it. I don't know.
It seems like one of those games that like I didn't really have any interest in it, whenever it came out.
Right.
Or whenever it was announced, I guess. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like looking for a reason to haul my VR out because I just put it away because I never use it anymore. And, I'm hoping.
Well,
what's up?
Moss is a great reason to do that. And if you haven't played through Astrobot, you need to get Astrobot.
Yeah, I've heard Astrobot is awesome. So
it's unbelievable.
I'd like to do it. It's just, God, I hate setting that fucking thing up. If it was wireless, I would play it all the time. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I want to say that I'd play it all the time.
I don't think you would. I don't think you're a VR person. I think you like the idea of it, but it's just too big of a pain. Are you playing anything right now? You're probably in the same boat I am, where it's just like the weather's been really nice and you're probably not.
Yeah, there was probably 3 days this week where I didn't play a single video game at all. And that is pretty unusual.
Right.
I don't know. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII still. I'm like I'm like at the part right before the end of the game. So I don't know.
I figured you beat that.
I know you don't remember the game at all. The game ends whenever you leave Midgar for the first time, as far as the original story is concerned. Okay. And the very end of that, like in the original story, right before you leave Midgar for the first time is where you infiltrate Shinra headquarters to capture or to get Aerith back, and you find Red 13 and the whole Genova thing happens and all that stuff. And I think you end up fighting Rufus at the end. But then after that, everything kind of comes crashing down and you leave Midgar. Well, that's the end of the game. And I basically got to the point in the game where it's like, you better do what you need to do because as soon as you go to Shinra HQ, you're not going to be able to help anybody. And I'm just like,
they give you a warning?
Yeah. So I'm like at the end of the game, basically. I still got to play Shinra HQ. I don't know what that's going to be like. I'm right at the end of the game. It's just one of those things where like, I just haven't been really in the mood recently. Like it's like I need a day that, I don't have to work or something where maybe it's a little bit rainy or something like that. And I can get up in the morning and kind of start playing because we haven't had a whole lot of great weather here. So it's weird. I don't know, maybe I don't know if people who live in, urban areas have this same kind of problem, but I don't know if I'd call it a problem, but like when the sun comes out in the spring, like, or in early summer, and if I wake up in the morning and the sun is already shining and it's like 8:00 in the morning and I grab my cup of coffee, like I feel like a primal draw to be outside. Like it's not, You know what I mean? Like, I feel like...
Well, we get cooped up for like 6 months, 7 months here, like because of crappy weather. So like you have to get your vitamin D. You have to get outside. I mean, we have 7 months where we are almost indoors all the time because the weather's shit.
And it's so fucking weird as a homeowner too, because I wake up and, you know, I'm like, it's so nice outside. It's like, I cannot wait to mow the lawn or like, you know, or like go outside and work on the pool or, you know, just be outside. I mean, some of that stuff kind of sucks to do, but, you know, especially.
But there's a sense.
What's up?
I just said there's just a sense of feeling like you've done something.
Yeah.
It feels good.
And I'm sure certain people are like, oh, well, you know.
Oh, let it go.
You know, well, there's that. But like, I'm just saying, like, people that don't necessarily have a house or something like that, they don't understand it. And it's weird. And it could just be that like you're brainwashed by your investment. You know what I mean? So like, you're like, oh, I invested all this money in this house. Like, of course I'm going to feel good about accomplishing something, because if I don't, I just wasted a shitload of money or something.
Right. I want it to look nice. Right. And I was actually out. There's like this hanging basket rod by my garage where when we bought the house, there was a basket with flowers on it. The flowers had died. I think they were annuals. Never replaced it. So I was at like Home Depot yesterday looking at hanging baskets, and I wanted something that was going to come back every year, like a perennial. All that shit is so expensive, man. To get like a hanging basket perennial, it's like $35.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nope, I guess I'm not going to do that right now.
And usually they come in like some shitty plastic basket too that doesn't really even look that great or something.
It's not even very becoming, right? Yeah, it looks kind of trashy. And there are like 2 planters on my front steps. Speaking of which, I have to put down this is we're way off topic, but
anyway, so apparently I haven't played that many games, and I did actually. Yeah. So I had a couple of times where I tried to play a game and then just couldn't. Like Friday, I think it was, I got the urge to play Life is Strange 2. I was going to start that.
Oh, did you get it?
Yeah. Well, I've had it installed for a while. I just haven't, you know, I haven't played it. And so I finally because those type of games, like I have to be in the right mindset to want to start it.
You got to be in the mood.
It's like I got it because I don't like stopping in the middle of episodes. So I feel like I have to be ready to dedicate a couple hours to this and, you know, want to be making all the decisions and all that kind of stuff and diving into a new story where I'm not going to know the characters and all this stuff. So I finally decided on Friday that I'm going to play this, and Sarah and I were going to sit down and I was going to play it, and I go to start it and it's like, you have a 15 gig update to download. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Why would this game require a 15 gigabyte update? It's like, okay.
I don't know, but let me warn you real quick. This is something I probably should have told you before I went into place the second episode. It said, we noticed that you have not played The Adventures of Captain Spirit, which is the name of the game that we couldn't remember last time.
Right.
And it was like, we recommend that you play it. It's free. So do you want to play that before you start episode 2, or do you want to just go into episode 2? And they do tie in together. Huh. So just so you know, you should probably download that and play that as well.
Play that fucking, you know, it was funny. I had that literally installed on my PlayStation for months. You never touched it. So I finally was just like, fuck it. And I deleted it.
Just a heads up. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I played it and I played episode 2, and it does make episode 2 a little better, the way it ties it together, but it's not integral for the Life is Strange. I'm on episode 3 of Life is Strange 2 right now. So that's cool that you're going to maybe dive into that. It's really good. I like it so far. It's I will say that the second, or the Captain Spirit game that was free, this is Don't Nod, right? Don't they do this? Don't Nod?
It sounds right.
I think it's Don't Nod, but the free Adventures of Captain Spirit was very, very slow. Very little happens in it, but it just kind of more so builds a character and kind of gives you some backstory of a character that you may or may not encounter in Life is Strange 2.
Interesting.
So moving on, man. I don't know if you saw, but Days of Play is making a comeback again to the PS Store, June 3rd to June 17th. It's going to feature some deals. They do this every season. There was some speculation whether or not they'll be doing it now. bringing it back. I do know that Best Buy had some deals. I think you could get right now. Now, I don't know if you ever played Shadow Mordor or Watch Dogs, Jake, but the sequels of those are available on Best Buy right now for $10, and it's part of this early Days of Play thing, I believe. So Watch Dogs 2 is $10, and this is for, I believe, the physical copies, and Shadow of War, which is the Middle Earth game, is available for $10. But the Days of Play on the PlayStation website, it says this is going to go June 3rd to June 17th. And what's kind of cool is everyone's always waiting for a discount on PS Plus. And mine's going to get rung up right about now because I believe right around my birthday, I always get charged. But a 12-month PlayStation Plus membership is 30% off. So that's a pretty good deal. And then you and I were just talking about Astrobot. So VR games, Astrobot Rescue Mission and Farpoint are both going to be $10. The Last of Us Remastered and other PlayStation Hits games are going to be around $10. Days Gone is going to come down to $20. I think right now it's $30. And Blood and Truth also $20. So there's another VR game. Everybody's Golf VR is going to come down to $15. Let me see what else. There's more. These are participating retailers. These are the physical ones that you can go out and find. So the other thing is, if you don't have a headset, the Sony Gold headsets are getting knocked down to $70. I think they're originally like $100 or $120 or something for those. And that's pretty much all that was worth mentioning at stores.
They show I'm looking at the PlayStation blog post about this.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Platinum wireless headset. I didn't even know they had a better headset than the Gold headset.
Yeah, but it's $130, dude.
Well, $130 on sale.
Right.
But I don't know. So I mean, I just never knew they had it. I don't even know what's so good about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let's ask them. But another thing they mentioned that's kind of cool on here, and I was on the PlayStation Store. They actually have a gear store where you can get merchandise from like Sony IPs. Like you can get an Uncharted mug, or you can get, an Uncharted T-shirt. They're offering a 20% discount on all full price merchandise if you use the Days of Play 20 promo code. The problem with that store is I think they want to charge you $8 or $9 for shipping. They had an Uncharted mug for $8 on sale, and I was like, oh, dude, I'll pick that up. But then by the time I got taxed and shipping, it was like $20, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Yeah. I tried to buy a band T-shirt recently too, a Hot Water Music T-shirt, and it was the same issue. For one shirt, it was going to charge me close to like $25. The shirt was only like $10 or $12, but with taxes and shipping, it was going to be like $25.
That's so weird. In Pennsylvania, you shouldn't be charged for taxes, first of all, because in Pennsylvania, we don't get taxed for T-shirts. But
well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just shipping alone. Sorry.
But anyways, it's weird. I mean, I think a lot of that, though, is just being spoiled in the Amazon era where we don't really have to pay for shipping anymore. And
yeah, but $8 or $9 to ship a T-shirt. Here's the thing. Like I sell records and CDs and stuff, and to ship a vinyl record cost me $3.33. And that's a big box. It's pretty heavy. And I've got additional cardboard in there to stabilize it. And CDs maybe cost $2 something to ship. So to charge $9 to ship a T-shirt is ridiculous.
Well, part of me wonders too if that's just because of the fact that you're buying it right now, because shipping lines are so backed up with stuff because of the whole coronavirus outbreak. That, it could just be that it costs a lot to ship something right now. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm not necessarily defending the shipping costs. I mean, it could be they're just inflating their shipping costs to make money back or something like that, which is absolutely stupid. Just charge $20 for the T-shirt and make the shipping $2. But
right,
because then people don't feel like they're getting ripped off. I've encountered some stuff like that too, and their website. I think
I'm kind of a cheapskate.
Most websites nowadays either do, like a lot of the websites I buy from will at least do free shipping over a certain amount of money,
like $50. Like if you're spending $50 more, we'll just ship it for
free. And I can understand that, not wanting to pay. Yeah. Especially when you do a lot of shipping yourself, not wanting to pay $15 to have, a mug shipped to you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So Days of Play is coming. Keep your eyes out for deals. The PlayStation Store obviously is going to have deals the 3rd to the 17th. Sony announced recently, Jake, that there's going to be a big PlayStation 5 master list of games announced for the PlayStation 5. From what I could surmise, we only know of a couple guaranteed games coming to the PlayStation 5. Now, take for granted that I'm not taking for granted the backwards compatibility feature, but I know that there's a game called Paradise Lost coming to the PS5. I want to talk a little bit about that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Apparently the next Battlefield game is going to be cross-platform, and they're working on that. Final Fantasy VII, I guess the developer had come out at one point and made an announcement that they said they think they had done everything to make sure it's compatible or make sure that it runs on the PS5. But that almost makes it just sound that it's going to be a backwards compatible game. But maybe they're talking about how maybe it'll be up-res for the PS5, the Final Fantasy VII game. No one really knows. And then Blue Point, a while back, previously announced that they are working on a PS5 game that they say is a big one. So they're only known to be doing remasters. So what do you think they could possibly be working on for the PS5? Like a GTA 5 game or something like that for Rockstar? What do you think Blue Point's working on?
I thought I had heard through the grapevine, and maybe it was just speculation, but I thought I had heard somewhere that they might actually be working on an original title.
That'd be awesome.
So, because
we don't need another Skyrim. Let me just say that.
Very look, you can always port Skyrim. It's fine. You know, you can play the PS4 Special Edition on PS5 theoretically. Okay. So you shouldn't really need to, do that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've always done really good work on ports. I mean, they did the Nathan Drake collection, which is, amazing. They went through and changed all the controls that were shitty about the first one and fixed all the graphics. And the only thing that I wish that they had done is I really wish that they would do a console port of Golden Abyss, because I just can't bring myself to play a fucking Uncharted game on my Vita. And
it's a good game. Though.
I know. I've heard that it's a really good game. It's just that I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to push the console quality experience on the handheld kind of thing with the Vita. Man, when I play Uncharted, I just want to fucking play it on my TV. I don't know. You can't even use the PlayStation TV, the little Vita port, the Vita console thing. You can't even use that to play it because of all the dumb shit they added into it.
I don't think they even make that anymore. Did you end up getting one of those?
I bought one a long time ago. Yeah, because it was I think when I bought it was $40 or something. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll buy it," But you can't play Uncharted on it because you gotta deal with the light sensor.
Hold it up to the light, and then you gotta use the touchscreen and
the chalk drawing shit, and I don't know. I guess that's a little bit of a digression from the Blue Point thing, but. Yeah, I have to imagine that they're probably, if they're not working on an original title, it's probably something, maybe instead of doing a remaster, they're doing a full-on remake of a classic PlayStation game or something.
What if they're doing all of the Resistance games?
It's possible. I mean, it's possible.
As a trilogy for the PS5.
Because I know that...
that'd be so good.
I know that Insomniac has been tweeting a lot of Resistance-related content, and I don't know. Maybe, cool. They're just kind of getting people hyped up for it so that if Blue Point does a remaster and they announce it, that's kind of what it's for. Yeah. It's hard to really say what it's going to be. I mean, it would be cool to have a Resistance remaster because I'd like to play through those games again, and there's no way in hell I'm getting out my PS3. So
that would be so awesome.
Yeah, would be so awesome. It would be cool for sure. I mean, that first game I never even played. So
I would definitely play those games. For sure.
Yeah.
Remastered.
Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah, it would be great. All right. So that Paradise Lost game that I talked about, there's a trailer that dropped. It's coming out on PC, but they also, the game company also announced that it's coming out on PS5. This game looks really interesting. They had a press release and it said that Paradise Lost is a mystery adventure game telling the story of a 12-year-old boy who finds a mysterious Nazi bunker while roaming a post-nuclear Polish wasteland. Your choices will gradually affect the game's characters, but also its visual style, environment, and sound effects. The trailer is pretty wild. It's almost like the Nazis were being defeated. Instead of surrendering, they just launched a nuke and just destroyed everything.
Yeah.
This is the aftermath. And apparently you're this 12-year-old kid and you find this bunker and you roam through it and stuff. And it's supposed to be a mystery adventure game, dude. The trailer looks pretty cool. It's just a cinematic trailer, but the idea, these alternate history ideas are always really interesting to me. There's that Showtime show or HBO show called Man in the High Castle. It might even be Amazon. I don't know, but it's like, what if the Nazis had won the war? You know, where would we be at? Would there still be a resistance? This thing's pretty interesting, though. Have you heard anything about this game, Paradise Lost?
No, I mean, I just actually, before we started the podcast, I was sifting through some stuff online and I saw something about it, but I haven't even watched a trailer or anything. So,
dude, it looks awesome. The trailer's just like this radio broadcast that kind of talks about what happened, and it's just bleak and it's snowy. I don't know if it's snow or if it's ash or nuclear fallout or whatever. And then you just slowly climb this hill, and there's this like withered tree, and like there's somebody leaning against a tree holding like a baby, and it's just like Paradise Lost. It looks crazy, dude. It looks really crazy. It looks really emotional. Like it looks like very story driven and good. Like a game right up you and I's alley. But I don't really have much else to add about that. But Jake, for a topic for the show, I just wanted to ask, generally speaking, I mean, we're getting pretty close to the release of the PS5. If they don't push it back, they said it was going to be the fourth quarter of 2020. I mean, it's May. It's the end of May. So we have June, July, August, September, October, November, December. We only have half a year left. And we have not really seen a console. We don't know exactly what's going on with the PS5. Now, we do know that Microsoft came out and they unveiled a lot of stuff about the Xbox. But where are you at? Do you think Sony is delaying on purpose? Do you think that they're not confident in their console? I don't think it's that at all. I mean, me personally, from everything that I've read with this latest Unreal Engine 5 information, I think the PS5 is going to be I think it's going to be an amazing machine, just based on sometimes a lack of doing anything just shows that you're even more confident in what you have. I don't know. What's your take on all this? I
think that honestly, the coronavirus just fucked up their PR schedule, and they just have no idea how to handle it. Like because I imagine if it wasn't for the coronavirus thing, they probably would have already had some kind of a press conference by now. And, because they wouldn't have been so concerned about whether or not they were able to get consoles made and all this kind of stuff. I feel like probably everything would be kind of known at this point. I think it just got to a point where Sony was like, okay, we have to say something about this thing if we're going to release it this year. So they're going to probably do something in the next couple weeks, I imagine. And
they're going to have to. They're going to have to do something.
They're going to have to, because you can't, how do you build hype about a console that people know nothing about? So, and it could be, if they're having some issues or whatever, but I have a hard time believing that. I guess I don't have a hard time believing that. I don't think that it's that they're having issues so much is that they've bit off more than they can chew in the past with certain launches and stuff. And I think that they're trying to come out. They're probably trying to figure out how can we deliver all this information to the public and then kind of temper everybody's expectations on how many consoles are going to be available at launch and all this stuff and what the release date is and what the price point is. How do we deliver some of these things that could potentially be bad news while at the same time, like, keeping the hype train alive? And so I think they're probably going to start by just showing like a shitload of games and stuff that look awesome and make everybody, that would be the smart thing to do, to come out and be like, check out this game, looks fucking awesome. Check out this game, looks fucking awesome. They probably threw a bunch of money at Epic to say like, hey, show your Unreal Engine 5 running on a PS5 so people see how awesome PS5 is. And then they're going to, probably come out. They might come out at the end of their live stream or their conference or their state of play or whatever the fuck they're doing. And be like, hey, this console's $550 or this console's $500, but there's only going to be 500,000 of them available at launch or something like that. So
it's going to be limited, man. There's no doubt about it. And I'd be surprised if you're sitting at your computer ready to buy one that you'll probably get one. Like, I think that they're just going to go so fast. It's just going to be insane. I don't know that they're going to be able to meet demand on this. I think they want to, but I don't think they're going to be able to, based on the rumors already circulating that they've come out and said that it's going to be limited for the first year or something. So I don't know, man. Like, it's scary. The thing about it to me is I think the best action right now for them, if they know what they're releasing and they know the games that are going to be available when the console releases, they just need to make up their minds. I think the big issue is they don't know what to try to sell this thing for. I think their big thing is they're not sure what to sell it for, because with coronavirus and them knowing that the people they're marketing the console to may not have expendable money right now, they also can't risk losing their ass and selling it for cheaper than what they need on it. I think the plan for these consoles is always to make it up on game sales in hardware, in, extra controllers and stuff like that. They get their money back over time, but they got to be careful with this. And they know that they're only going to have so many units to sell. So what do you sell them for? Like that's what nobody knows what to, and like, there is a limit, man. Like, even like when I price like my music, it's like, well, vinyl records cost me a ton of money to make, and they are limited. Not many people want a vinyl record, but the people who do really want it. So at what price do I put that? I mean, I'm not going to get anybody who's disinterested in vinyl records to buy one. So I just know I just have to price it what I need to make my money back. And you have to make that decision. But sometimes it's really hard to come up with a price for something, because you do have competitors and they're competing very heavily with Microsoft. I think what they need to do, Jake, I think they need to come out of the gate. They need to just have one huge expose and be like, hey guys, sorry for the wait. We're motherfucking Sony. Here's our new console. This is what it looks like. This is what we're going to charge for it. And these are all the awesome features. And just do like a 45-minute like rig rundown on the Sony PS5, give the date, give the price, and just blow people's minds. That's what they need to do. And then everyone's just going to be like, oh my God, okay. And if they've knocked it out of the park, they shouldn't be afraid to do that. Trickling stuff out right now probably isn't, at this point, if you're going to come out with any more additional information, just come out with a grand slam and just put it all out there. That's my opinion. I don't think they're going to do that, but that's what I would be most excited for. Could you imagine if they had a Sony PS5 release thing online and it was just like, it's going to be live and we're going to sit down and they are literally going to show off the new PS5, and they're probably going to get more viewers now than they would if we were in a normal world, because people are just glued to their TV sets. People are glued to YouTube. People are glued to the internet. People just want to know what's going to happen, what's going on. You know what I mean? More people are tuned into this kind of thing right now than they would be at any other time, I think. So I don't know. That's my opinion. I think it'd be awesome if they did that.
Yeah, I think that, you're probably right. I do still wonder if, there's gonna be a lot of hype for sure, but I do still wonder if there's gonna be a little bit fewer people buying the PS5 at launch, just because people are kind of strapped for cash right now.
Yeah.
You try to imagine someone who lost their job and maybe they're on an unemployment, or to ask them to say like, hey, we got this console, here's a $500 console even, what do you do? Like those people probably aren't going to be able to afford it, and they're going to stick with their PS4 longer because, they can still play a lot of games on PS4. But that said, I think that there's still going to be a lot of people really want the console. And I think that if they do, they really need to just do a blowout press conference or something. I mean, even if they do, like, what would be kind of cool, honestly, is because some people, want that huge 2-hour fucking video to watch or whatever. But
right.
That's not something that I want. What I'd rather see is like, let's do like 3 videos, right? Let's do one that's like, it'll be the first thing that comes out and it'll be like PS5 fucking launch window lineup. And it'll just be, the first video will be all of the games that are coming out in the launch window. Right. So like the first 6-8 months of the console's launch. And then you have another video that would be like all the new features about the PS5. So, and how they integrate with games and stuff. So like all the new
why sharing, you want this.
Yeah.
Right.
So like all the new sharing features, like how the controller like kind of works with games. And you can actually maybe shoehorn in some new games in this section as well, showing off some of these features, right? And then maybe have a third video that is just all about like the actual rollout of the console, like this is what the console looks like, this is what it's going to cost. This is, this is how much the controllers are going to cost. This is all the peripheral hardware that comes with it. This is why it's important that you buy a camera. This is, here's your teaser, or here's a straight up fucking announcement of the next PSVR that's going to attach to it. All this kind of stuff.
Right.
Maybe talking about whether or not all of the processing hardware for the current gen VR, is that inside of the PS5 now? I have no idea. So, they could kind of split their announcement up, but like my gut tells me that it's probably better that they just get out there and just throw everything at the public and just let them kind of mull it over for a few months.
Dude, how crazy would it be? And I know this one, won't happen. It's not real world, but let's say they do that and they drop all this shit. They're talking about Blue Point working on a Resistance remaster for all 3 games. Who knows? Maybe PlayStation Plus is going to include PlayStation Now, and they're going to merge the two together for an extra $10 or something. Who knows? Maybe they show you the new VR headset and it's completely wireless, and they have a whole lineup of games for this. They're showing you all these, maybe they come out of the gates with a Horizon Zero Dawn 2 trailer, running on the PS5. And if I'm being honest, that Unreal Engine 5 video stuff looked so much like Horizon, it blew my mind. Like it felt like the little glyphs and stuff written on the rocks. So I wouldn't be surprised. They do all this, like you said. They show you the PS5, what it's capable of, all the new functions, and then they're like $450.
Yeah,
like, dude, people would lose their fucking shit if that happened. Like, people would just go nuts. Like, people would be going nuts about it. You wouldn't be able to shut the internet up if they did something like that, man. It would just be so awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they can manage to get that console down to that price point, I mean, they'd basically be selling it at break even, or maybe even a little bit less, maybe even a little bit of a loss. But I mean, they would definitely, if they could come back out, I mean, that would be one way for sure for them to kind of reel in all of the people that have been kind of, side-eyeing Xbox since it kind of announced, since they announced the Xbox.
Right.
There's a lot of PlayStation gamers that could be, that used to be Xbox gamers that are thinking about maybe going back. Xbox comes out and there's like, here's the Series X. It's the most powerful console ever made, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Here's a bunch of shit. And so people are like, well, we don't know anything about PlayStation, and we haven't heard anything about PlayStation. So maybe I ought to go back to, Xbox. And I think it's also going to boil down to when pre-orders come up. Because like one of the things that I'm curious about is when Sony does finally come out in, a couple weeks or whatever, and they're like, hey, here's all the shit about the console. Are they going to like announce like, hey, pre-orders are available at this particular period of time, or maybe they're available today or whatever? They can't do something like E3, right? Where E3 was a live event. So like when the event was live, they were like, the fucking pre-orders are available right now, and you could literally get on your phone and go out and fucking do it. Like they're not. I mean,
they could do a live event on.
They could, yeah, and they might. They do it online. They might do. They may do some kind of live
like a state of play or something.
Yeah, I just
hope to God it's not a state of play. They better rent. I don't know. They just need to rent out a big Coliseum and make it badass. And
I don't think that's
in front of like real cameras.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you want. I mean, you want like the spectacle, right? But I anymore.
I just want a real person to talk. Like, I don't want to hear like.
Well, they should be able to do it like the old Nintendo Directs and shit, where like Reggie would get up and he would be there and he would be talking about the state of the console and Nintendo and all this stuff. And there's no reason why they couldn't have a pre-recorded video that
Reggie
had
in the full effect.
Whoever got it, the guy that's heading Sony Worldwide Studios now, which is not what it's called anymore, but PlayStation Studios. The guy who's heading that, he used to be in charge of Gorilla. I can't remember his name right now.
I don't remember.
Like for him to come out and be like talking about the games and the development, maybe have a little section where Mark Cerny comes back out and, confuses everybody with technical talk. And then, maybe have a section where maybe the CEO even comes out and talks. Right?
There's something really awesome about being able to make fun of yourself. What if they brought Mark Cerny back out and like they announced it like, well, now another quick update from Mark Cerny, so that we can just confuse you all a little bit more about how awesome our system is. And then he just gets out there and he's just like talking in.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that hour-long presentation he did?
Yeah, dude. That dude's like a cut above the rest as far as his knowledge.
I was able to follow a lot of it, but there was some stuff where he got into the weeds that was just wow.
It's pretty interesting stuff.
I think that, I don't know what they're going to do as far as a release. I mean, obviously they can't do some kind of a in-person thing because of all the quarantining and stuff that's going on. But, they could certainly come up with some pretty cool videos, right? And part of me wonders if they're a little bit anxious about announcing all this PS5 stuff when they've got, in a few weeks you've got The Last of Us coming out, and then a few weeks after that you've got Ghost of Tsushima coming out. Maybe they don't want to detract from those. It could be that I imagine that in their PS5 launch or whatever, they're going to talk about those games a little bit, maybe just kind of pushing them, continuing to push them, or at least that would be the smart thing to do. Yeah, I think that it's got to be within the next couple weeks. It's got it's 2 or 3 weeks anyway. If they get to the end of June and they still haven't talked about the PS5, I think there's a problem. That seems unlikely. Although I thought that they would have talked about it by now. I don't know. But like if you think about the PS4 rollout, I mean, yeah, they did have that big announcement thing in February, but they literally just showed a bunch of games. Whereas they didn't really talk about the console, the PS5 or PS4 console until E3, which is in early June. So
yeah,
it wouldn't.
It's right about there.
It wouldn't surprise me if they decided now was the time to do it.
Well, the thing of it is, you got to think too. Like if Last of Us 2 ends up being a cross-gen game, they don't want to announce that it's going to be available on PS5 right around the time of the release of the game, because then people are going to maybe wait to buy it for the PS5. So I don't know. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. I don't know. I think we've covered a lot of our opinions on that, and I think we both agree that they need to do something soon. Doing nothing right now in inaction really doesn't seem to be the best play unless they're just flexing and they're planning some sort of big reveal that they know is just going to blow everybody's socks off. So we do try to cover. I try to list the games that are coming out every week. So I'm just going to go over these real quick. I'm looking at these names, and it's like if you had asked me to come up with a list of video games that weren't real video games, I might come up with all of these names for games. I don't even know what these games are, and even the graphics, they all look so fake. So coming out this week is Atomicrops. I don't know what that is. Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling, Castle Pals, Genetic Disaster, Hotel R&R, Let's Sing 2020, Little Misfortune, Many Faces, Minecraft Dungeons, Pong Quest. Like you just see the pictures of these. Rune Lord, Shantae and the Seven Sirens. Those Who Remain. I feel like I've heard of that game. I don't know what it is though. I can't even pronounce this. It's Uruwerumano, Prelude to the Fallen. I would not have been able to come up with that. Wizards, Wand of Epicosity. So there you go, man. Those are the games coming out this week. So take advantage of that days of play sale and get yourself something you're familiar with. I mean, there might be a decent game in those, but I don't know. If you look at the graphics, you go to the PlayStation Drop, like these graphics look so fake. It's like if I were a video game developer and I was trying to create a fake website talking about new games coming out, this is what I would come up with. Like these don't even look like real game covers or graphics.
I think everyone's just sort of probably trying to get out of the way of The Last of Us at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know if you saw, but Naughty Dog been releasing weekly videos about the making of that game and different stuff, and I've avoided every single one of them, but I really want to watch them. Yeah,
I don't think that I'm going to watch a single video like you're talking about until after I've played the game. Yep. After I've played the game, I'll go back and watch all the fucking documentaries and everything about it just because I'm interested in it. But
and what was actually leaked and spoiled? Yeah, because I don't know what even leaked.
Well, apparently everything leaked. I'm like all the freaking cinematics and story and everything of the game leaked. So
that's crazy.
I have no.
I'm so happy that it hasn't been spoiled for us.
I have no intention of ruining the game for myself. So yeah, I'll probably play it as soon as it comes out. Hold on, Last of Us 2.
Oh, don't even do it. You're gonna come. You're gonna see something.
2 release date is June 19th, so it's only a few weeks away.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for the show, Jake. What do you say?
Sounds about right.
All right. Why don't you go mow your lawn or something?
I'm so excited to go outside. You have no idea. I wanted to have my window open while we were doing this podcast, but it just wasn't going to happen because people outside are mowing and cars are driving by and all this shit like that. It would have been so annoying for the listeners.
Life is happening.
But yeah, I'm excited to go out and ride the old mower around.
All right. Sounds good. Well, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks again for tuning in to episode 140 of PS. This is awesome. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget to jump into the YouTube channel. I've been putting a lot of content on there, and you guys should go check it out. And so thanks for subscribing to the show. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you write into us, and we will we'll talk about whatever you want us to talk about, as long as it's PlayStation related or lawn related or pool related, like Salt and Sanctuary, Samurai Showdown, and Soul Calibur. P.S. This is awesome.